What? What? Oh, oh, we're on. Hey everyone, I am so sorry about that. I did not realize the camera was rolling. And it's because of these guys. They just block everything out. Blame them, not me. But now that I have you here, I'm glad. Because after about using the AirPod Pros for 6 months, I have a solid opinion on the pros and cons. There's a handful of things I like about them and a few things I dislike. In this video, we'll find out if the AirPod Pros hold their weight and whether or not they're worth the price they're at. So, I'm your host, Shapar Lawala. This is Soul of Tech. Stay tuned, let's get started. The AirPod Pros were released in late October of 2019. They made quite the splash in the headphone market. Now, to be fair, they were not the first in anything in particular. I mean, Sony's M3s already introduced awesome active noise cancellation features, which were unheard of and unprecedented before. And of course, the original AirPods, precedented by the AirPod Pros, had already introduced a design we're so used to today, the true wireless wire-free design. However, with that being said, the AirPod Pros did take all of those different elements and they brought it together in a sweet single package that was put together quite nicely. Now, as I mentioned, I've been using the AirPod Pros just shy of 6 months, and they're a pretty good product. Now, I use them for everything work related and for my personal usage as well. So often when I'm taking work meetings, I take them on my AirPod Pros. I go through numerous meetings throughout the day, and generally these guys are my go to driver. Also, I use them for audio usage. So when I'm listening to music on Spotify, I listen to it on my AirPod Pros, or if I'm watching a movie at nighttime on my cell phone, same thing goes there. Now, to be fair, the audio on these does not compete with high-end over-the-air headphones like Sennheiser's or the Bose or Beats. Of course, those are the premium audio quality sounding headphones. And if you're looking for the top-notch experience, I would say go with those instead. What the AirPods Pro do provide over those is convenience. They're small, they're light, they're easy to carry, and you can charge them right from here, which actually brings me to our next point, battery life. Now, Apple claims you get about 4.5 hours of listening time with active noise cancellation on and about 5 hours if you have it turned off. I find this is pretty accurate for the most part. Normally, without noise cancellation off, I squeeze a little over 5 hours actually. I think 6 hours is as far as I've gone. And I find that with it on, I get about 4-ish hours of battery life. So the claim is, like I said, pretty accurate. Now, with that being said, when you have the mic on, I find there's a drastic drop in battery life. Normally, I squeeze about 3.5 hours if I have the mic on during my meetings, and I do have to charge sometimes multiple times throughout my day, especially if I have back to back meetings from morning till afternoon. Now, even if I do have a busy work day, I don't mind having to charge my AirPod Pros more than once, and that's because they charge so fast. 5 minutes of charging gives me approximately 1 hour of talk time again, and that's honestly more than I can ask for. Even if I do have a lot of meetings, I can always squeeze in 5 minutes, get my AirPod Pros back up, and get right back at it. Now, I really do like the actual design of the AirPod charging case. I find that's a little bit wider than the original AirPod cases, but it's still the same functionality. It remains just as convenient. And of course, I do love the fact that Apple makes it so convenient to charge these. Taking them out is a breeze. Once you put them in your ears, as you already know, they automatically connect to your iPhone. And then when you want to charge them, putting them in is simple as just tucking it in like this, closing it, and they're already charging. There's literally no process. It's seamless. That's one of the things I do love about Apple. Now, I personally find the design of the actual headphones to be nice and comfortable. One thing you'll notice right off the bat is you have a lot of these black line thingies. Well, they're not random. So, right away, you'll see that there's a vent actually on the outside of the headphones. Often, when people use in ear headphones or active noise canceling headphone, they notice this buildup of pressure inside their ears. And that's because the pressure on the outside is not the same as the pressure on the inside. These vents help equalize that. And what that does essentially is it makes sure that you don't feel uncomfortable when wearing these kind of headphones for a long period of time. And this is something unique to Apple. And I have to say, in my 6 months of using it, I do find that it helps quite a bit and reduces the strain I feel on my ears after listening to music or audio or anything for a long period of time. Now, because the AirPod Pros are in-ear headphones, they do come with dedicated tips. And of course, these tips come in small, medium, and large sizes. Depending on your ear fit, you can put on any of those sizes. They're all included with the headphones. Also, Apple actually has a built-in ear fit test that you can use to see which one sounds the best in your ear as well. I definitely advise that you use that if you are going to be deciding which tip to use. So the active noise cancellation on the AirPod Pros works pretty nice. I do, however, find from my personal experience that it works better in some environments as opposed to others. So for example, if you're in an environment where the noise levels are fairly consistent, let's say you're in a public transit bus or your dishwasher's running or there's a furnace on, in those kind of settings, the AirPod Pros do a fantastic job at filtering out the noise to the extent where you just practically can't hear those noises anymore at all. However, if you're in a place where noise levels fluctuate a lot, let's say you're at a party with a lot of chatter, or you're hearing an alarm, or there's music playing that has all sorts of vocal ranges, you will find that the AirPod Pro struggle to perfectly eliminate the sound. They do to a good extent. However, there is still a little bit of leakage. Now, despite all this, I do have a big problem with the AirPod Pros, and that's the mic quality. I personally find that the mic quality in the AirPod Pros is not that good. It picks up a lot of background noise. Even when you're in a more silent environment, minor chatter gets easily picked up. I've had numerous occasions where people have told me my voice sounds like it's really far away. And although I can't confirm if a lot of people have this, I know through Reddit, I've seen multiple users complain that they have a similar issue where their voice sounds like it's coming from really far away to the other person on the phone. I do think this may be a software related problem, and I'm sure Apple's working on it, but it is worth noting that if you're going to be in a really busy spot or if you're taking meetings from, let's say, in a downtown location where there's a lot of chatter and traffic noise, the mic quality does suffer significantly. So apart from the mic, there's one other thing that I find a little bothersome on the AirPod Pros, and that's the new touch-based controls. So what I mean by that is now, when you're on the AirPod Pros, and let's say you want to skip a song or pause something or answer a call, you actually have to physically touch the AirPod Pros to make that happen. Now, while that may not sound like such a big inconvenience, what happens as a result of this often is that I end up misaligning the tips or the fit on my AirPods in my ear canal, and I have to fix this often. I don't think it's a inconvenience for everyone. Some people even prefer it, but for me personally, I find that this can be a nuisance time to time. My final verdict on the AirPod Pros, I think they're great for anyone who prefers convenience, portability, and ease of use. Now, they are not the best sounding headphones like I mentioned earlier, but for their price range as well as the unique features they offer, I think they're great. One thing to notice is that if you are outside of the iOS system, then using the AirPod Pros is not the best because you don't get all the features that Apple provides to iOS users. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But overall, like I said, they are worth their price and they are a solid product. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please do consider liking and subscribing for more quality feature content like this. And if there's anything more you wish to see, let me know in the comments below and I can look towards reviewing it. Soul of Tech, logging out.